Hey guys, Midway Piper back with you today. Got a couple things to talk about, but first things first, some housekeeping. Got my squat Rhodesian Chris Harriott pipe. I do love me this pipe. And in it, oh, there goes that. In it, hold on a second, guys. I'm back. All right. In it, I have a blend that can't be purchased anymore. It was only available for a very short time, and it is a pretty enjoyable blend. It's a, I guess, an English aromatic of sorts. It's made by Country Squire. It's called Old Home Place. There we are. Old Home Place by Country Squire. This was a brief collaboration Country Squire did with the Pipe Cottage, Alan Harrelson, before their little falling out. And I should have ordered more, but I thought it would be readily available for a long time to come. Oh well. June 24. So I got this jar and that's it. All right, so that's the housekeeping. Real quick, I figured I'd do an update on what I'm reading. It's really cold out here, so this is gonna be a pretty quick one today. Feels like 8 degrees with the wind chill. Yeah. So, haven't started too much new for reading. I don't have a physical copy of the audiobook that I'm doing right now. It's called The Rainbow, I think. It's by D.H. Lawrence. It's sort of a it's kind of about a couple of generations of a family, and the relationships, the character development, that kind of thing. Interesting book though. Sort of talks about the relationship of a guy, and he falls in love with this woman, and she has a daughter from a previous marriage, and sort of the stages of their relationship, whether it be, the I think I like her kind of thing, to we've fallen in love, okay, we're kind of courting, okay, now we're married, and then the changes that occur in relationships over time with various things, cravings that the one chapter is predominantly from the guy's point of view, so what happens is in relationships is the ebb and flow of physical relations, and when his wife gets pregnant, and what he needs to, he wants, well, and that sort of struggle that as a guy you have to deal with his wife being pregnant, and then shortly after marriage, and then as time continues on, sort of what seems like that roommate phase, and how they finally come to sort of a conclusion on that, and then that daughter gets married, and the story is pretty good, but I'm enjoying it for the human insight kind of factor. I think a lot of people go through life like, is this normal? Is this a weird stage? Does this happen? And so it's kind of cool to see all that stuff playing out. There's no like murder mystery or anything like crazy going on. It's a slice of life kind of book. About halfway through that book, enjoying it quite a bit. And again, just doing that on audio. It was free on Audible, so good old classics, right? So that's that one. that's the audiobook I'm doing right now. Let's see if this thing will light up again. Come on. Come on. Come on. Too damn cold out here. Nothing wants to work. I guess I'm not smoking this pipe anymore in this video. Let's keep it really short now. All right, cool. What else am I reading? Christmas Thoughts by J.C. Ryle. Started this. Intention was to read it between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Happy New Year. Maybe halfway through the book, but good stuff. Still enjoying that. Along the same vein, courtesy of Johnny Keene, I discovered this guy, Jordan Cooper. You guys may recognize him if you watch any sort of theology videos. I know it could be long lost relatives, right? Yeah. Anyways, so this is called Baptized into Christ, a Guide to Christian Life. He writes from a Lutheran perspective. He's been going down the rabbit hole watching a lot of his videos and Lutheran content lately. So thank you, Johnny, for that. If you watch this, I'll go ahead and tag you in it. And then finally, I'm still chugging along on the Rutherford B. Hayes biography. About 3/4 of the way done with that book. So, yeah, that's the reading. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. And just like that, I'm back. Great editing, right? Not really. Hit the pause button. I want to get this relit. And I had something else I wanted to talk about. So I went in and got my good old trusty lighter. Someone was asking about this in a previous video. It's called a trench lighter. Try that again without a pipe in my mouth. A trench lighter. I just found it on Amazon. Use lighter fluid instead of butane. And all you do is you pull that cap up. There's your wick. Flick the wheel. And then, well, yeah, it's kind of lit still. Just close the cap and it goes out. That one uses lighter fluid. It's a little bit more reliable in this cold weather. All right, other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Sorry for the not so grand background today. I thought my dog was going to hang out here with me, but it's too cold, so he went inside. Other thing I want to talk about real quick is what's going on in California with the fires. So first things first, if you if you have any family or friends affected by these fires, just know you're in my thoughts. It sucks. It sucks to see what's going on. So a lot of you guys know that I came from a pretty environmental background, bleeding heart, liberal in college, even registered green voter when I was in college. Yeah, then I learned the error of my ways, and yeah. Anyways, fire is one of those things that the environmental movement just can't wrap their mind around. And I'm saying this living in the state of New York, so keep that in mind. I think we know that California is probably the most green conscious state, shall we call it? And they continually have these fire issues. For some reason, environmentalists cannot get their minds wrapped around fire. I really don't get it. California has some of the most extreme environmental policies of any state in the United States. Try to limit greenhouse emissions, carbon emissions, and such. And everything that they spend their time and effort and money into doing always gets pissed away every year when there's a wildfire. I wouldn't hesitate to say that California is probably going to be the biggest polluter, CO2 polluter in this country this year, probably, the way these fires are going. And it's crazy because we're not even really, I don't think, really in wildfire season right now. You know, this idea that Mommy Earth knows best, and if we leave nature alone, the world will be great, and that we are just nothing but a hindrance on nature. I don't get it. I don't get it. But also, keeping that in mind, fires were always a part of the natural world. We're having so many problems because we've suppressed the fires for so long. We have crazy underbrush, and don't get me wrong, we have tons of it here in New York too. I mean, just tons of undergrowth that never gets cleared out. Trees fall, they just lay there. It's just what happens. So I'm not saying New York isn't a much better place than California. We just tend to not have the wildfires that California does. So, but fires are essential. That's how a lot of that material gets burned up, turned to ash, and goes back into the soil and supports new life going forward. I mean, this is what happens. Another example, Yellowstone National Park. If you guys have ever seen the YouTube video, it's a short little one, how wolves change rivers. This is one of the things, this plays an important part in my life and what I actually do, but nonetheless, it's great publicity for wolves, that little 7-minute or whatever documentary. And essentially it says, the once wolves were reintroduced into Yellowstone, all these animals started coming back, and all these new habitats started to get, go back to how they used to be and whatnot. And again, good publicity for wolves, right? What it omits, though, is that there are massive wildfires that occurred in Yellowstone around the same time. So bringing wolves back didn't magically fix everything. That's not how it worked. Why did those other habitats come back? Why did those other animals come back? It's because 3/4 of Yellowstone National Park burned down. When a forest burns down, that's going to turn into a grassland. Different animals will use a grassland than what use the forest. Now, have they done in my opinion, take that for what it's worth, in my opinion, have they done a good job of helping multiple of those ecosystems stay around? Yes. But releasing them, that was not the magic pill that fixed the Yellowstone ecosystem, right? So fires are really important. And it's something that we've done our best to try to stop. And this is what happens. We need to take a more intelligent look at the environmental movement and what it's actually doing. My other channel, Midway Apparel Life, I talked a bit about what's going on in Canada and their carbon taxes and how that's caused massive inflation in food prices and all that kind of stuff throughout Canada. And thankfully we don't have those here. But there are definitely a lot of people here who are pushing for it, who are in full support of carbon taxes. You know what another good thing to do with carbon dioxide is? Try to revitalize our grasslands. That's one of the biggest carbon sinks in the entire world, our grasslands. Yep. So it's just frustrating. It's frustrating because, we only see things one way. And what's an important part of healthy grasslands? Animals to graze those lands. You need those. In the past, it was bison. And obviously, at this point in time, the way things are, we can't just keep... They can't just bring back massive herds of bison to roam out west, right? So, cows sort of fill that role right now. And again, that's something that the environmental movement is completely against. Get rid of all the cows. Well, then what? There's a lot of short-sightedness that's going on. And if we're gonna make America great, we gotta actually spend some intelligent time and look at these problems and figure out real solutions for them. Everyone's got their pet projects. And this is a problem that I've seen with science in general. Again, having gone through that, that is my background. Science is, especially the biology field, has become very reductionist. Now, it's great that we've got this really refined idea. We know how systems work and how all these little intricate things play out. But I don't think we've done a good job of zooming back out now. Everyone stays within their little defined zone. One of the reasons I have a bachelor's of wildlife science, and one of the reasons that there's multiple reasons I never went for a master's degree, one of which was because I was sick and tired of school. But another reason is because once you move on to get your master's degree, even if it's something that you're not 100% sure that that's where you want to go, you kind of get pigeonholed into that field. So if you go, let's say again, I have a bachelor's of wildlife science, and the only master's program that I could really find at the time was, working with wild turkeys. That would pretty much pigeonhole me into working with wild turkeys or wild game animals for the rest of my life. That's just kind of how that field works. And I didn't want to be pigeonholed like that. So that was one of the reasons I decided I was going to call it quits there. But I think we need a lot to zoom back out and look at things on a much broader scale again than we are. So, just a couple quick thoughts. Again, hopefully these fires get under control, and we have to start taking an actual look at what can be done I think we can all agree that the current Democratic leadership in California, and don't get me wrong, I don't know that they're ever going to change. Hopefully they pull their heads out of their asses. Enough of the what makes me feel good, and do what is actually good and beneficial. That's yeah. Though what makes me feel good often doesn't lead to the good for the masses, for the majority of people. Because what makes one person feel good might not make the other person feel good. So, anyways, that all being said, this was kind of all over the place. It's really freaking cold. My brain is frozen. It's not working well. But tomorrow is Friday. Hopefully it's supposed to be a little bit warmer than it is today. And we'll do the first Falcon Friday. That'll be pretty cool. Oh, also, what I said in my previous video about not ordering any more tobaccos, I failed. I failed already. I just placed an order for two new tobaccos. One is the HU Balkan mixture. This time of year, I just have a craving for that at this point. So I ordered that. And that wasn't the main reason. I threw that in the cart for whenever I got around to ordering something. But Smoking Pipes got in a restock of some of the Sam Gala stuff. And they got in the 50-gram tins of the Fire Dancer. I think that's what it's called. Jonathan, Piper X1X, this is your fault. Your fault. Did some videos on that a little while ago, and I've been looking for it since. And I think 8-ounce was available, and that was it for a long time. And that was 8 ounces is a big commitment from something that if I think it's just I don't want 8 ounces of it around. So the 50-gram tin came in stock, so that's what I really ordered for, to get that in. And if I like it, then I might think about the 8 ounces. But for right now, 50-gram tin should be a good trial. And quite frankly, I don't think this is the weather for that anyway. So I'll probably wait on it till it warms up. But at least I'll have a tin for trial. So I'll try to do better. All right, I'm frozen. So long. See you tomorrow, Falcon Friday. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.